Am I the asshole for taking my wife's side after she screamed and cursed at my mother? On mobile, throwaway. This just happened and my wife is currently sleeping while my mom is blowing up my phone. Added some edits at the bottom. I, 33 male. Am married to my wonderful wife Melody, 29 female. And she is currently pregnant with our first child together. I have a 6-year-old daughter Tina whose mother I split 50-50 custody with. So I know for the most part what Melody needs in order to feel supported while she carries our child. I have been spending lots of time making sure she's comfortable and taking on more of the load at home so she's not doing too much. This is her first child after all and it's obviously a lot for her physically and emotionally. My mother and Melody don't get along too well. Mom didn't like my ex either. We broke up because we were headed on different paths, not because of my mother, and there's no bad blood. So I think she just doesn't like her because she's dating me for whatever reason. It's weird. She's very nitpicky about Melody. How much she does around the house. How emotional she is. Melody already cries very easily and being pregnant has made her even more sensitive, which is fine. The fact that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom. It just seems like nothing Melody does is okay. I do however stand up for her and do not just allow my mom to talk down to her. Today before picking up my daughter from summer camp, Melody went to 3 different grocery stores to find rotisserie chicken. She's been talking about it since last night and really wanted one lol. She sent me picture messages documenting her quest for the chicken and finally found it. My girl was happy. Rotisserie chicken is also kind of a comfort food for her, like spaghetti, because her mom used to make one of those when she was having a lazy day and didn't feel like cooking. She was planning on serving that with some other basic sides for dinner, perfectly fine by me. My mother came by to see Tina and started telling Melody the chicken is bad for her and she should not be eating that pregnant. Melody said it's fine, she usually eats healthy and just wants this one thing she's craving. My mom went on about how unhealthy it was and said she needs to eat something else. Melody said no and went to the backyard to FaceTime her family, out of state. When she came back, my mom had thrown out the food and ordered takeout, a salad for Melody and pizza for everyone else. Melody asked where the chicken was and my mother told her she needs to start being a responsible mother and eat correctly for the baby. Melody screamed, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you always such a bitch to me?" She then started crying and called me home. I came back and asked my mother to leave after hearing her story and said she is not to come back until she apologizes for how she treated Melody. My mom went on about how I'm choosing another woman over her, but I just think enough is enough and Melody reached her limit. She apologized to me for blowing up when Tina was in the house, but I told her it's okay, things happen. Tina is okay, and I went to find her another chicken before the store closed. My dad thinks I'm right for taking Melody's side, but my brother thinks I should always defend mom, so am I the asshole? Edit. Okay, not to be that guy, but I did not expect this to get so much attention. I woke up to so many notifications and I'm going to try to go through as many as I can, but wow, thank you guys for all the support and awards. Melody loves all the kind messages from all of you, especially the mamas and soon-to-be mamas who get it, as she put it, lol. 1. My mom claimed it was the seasonings and fat, grease that made the chicken bad for her. It's all bullshit, but that's what she claimed. 2. I do plan on having a sit-down with both my parents and my brother with my mom. A lot of you have mentioned emotional incest, which is creeping me out, and other things along those lines that need to be addressed. I'll talk to my dad first, then have a family meeting. A lot of you asked why I would still want my mom around, and honestly maybe I'm just weak, but that's my mother. However, if she cannot learn to change and respect my family, then we will just have to go and see. It's hard, but it is what it is. Melody doesn't even want to completely cut her out, she just wants change as well. But I will protect Melody at all costs, and if that means cutting off my mom, then so be it. 3. My ex and I did not break up because of my mother. We had different ideas of where our lives were going. Tina was not planned and we were already heading towards going our separate ways before she got pregnant. We tried to make it work for Tina, but that's not what relationships are about, so we split and it's working great. My ex and Melody get along great. Tina is happy and we work through things as one big blended family. My ex and Melody have talked about my mother with each other before, and that was when I realized I needed to see a therapist to work through my childhood with a mom like mine. It's a process. I'm working through it the best I can. 4. Some people asked about our culture. We are all Black Americans. So I think it's more of a mom-son thing than a cultural thing. 5. Not sure how to update. Someone please comment and let me know. But I'll update after I speak to my dad and have the family meeting. Lots of you recommended Just No Mill and Raised by Narcissists. I think those are the page names, and I will definitely check them out. 6. Melody's pregnancy is going smoothly for the most part. Just exhausting and emotional, as she put it. Also, we're having a girl. We had our gender reveal last week for those who were wondering, and thank you for all the well wishes. #GirlDad hooray medium dark skin tone. Edit 2. I did find her another chicken yesterday night after this whole fiasco. Thanks for everyone who recommended we get a Costco card. That way she won't have to go on another chicken quest. Tears of joy. Not the asshole. Glad you went on a hunt for chicken to replace the one your mother trashed. Great husbanding on your end op. What the fuck is wrong with your mom though? Not the asshole, but your mom sure is. As a former pregnant woman, if my mill would have thrown away food I was craving and ordered me a salad instead, I would have thrown her on a rotisserie and spun her around until she apologized. Brother will need to learn that defending mum will not land him in any relationships. Your mum is controlling and is a red flag. Mothers of boys can be so incesty and possessive of their sons, and she's one of them. I'm glad you're not letting her. Always defend your wife. Not the asshole. As far as I know, there's nothing dangerous about eating cooked OFC chicken during pregnancy. Am I the asshole for telling my sister to admit she was a crappy mom? Throwaway account. Names changed. I'm 45. Sarah's 51, Tom's 55 and Rose is 26. My sister Sarah is married to Tom, and they have a daughter Rose. A few weeks ago Rose and Tom got into an accident. They were carpooling to an event and Sarah was going to go later after work. Thankfully they're both recovering now, but Rose was significantly worse off than Tom. Sarah got the news and she called me from the hospital. I was there a few hours after Sarah and they wouldn't let me inside to see them, but Sarah came out and told me the updates on Tom. She hadn't been to see Rose yet, but she said she got her updates from the nurses. I stayed overnight at the hospital. Sarah was with Tom the entire time and she'd come out occasionally. I'd ask her if she wanted to go to Rose, but she kept crying and saying that she was worried about Tom, so I let it go. Tom was cleared to go home 2 days later, but Rose was in for almost a week, and I was allowed to see her later. Her partner was out of state for work, but he came back and was allowed in as well. During all this, Sarah didn't physically go to see Rose once while Tom was still in, and only went after he went home, so 2 days later. Rose told me that she was hurt her mom didn't come to see her earlier. A couple of days ago, Sarah called me saying she went over to Rose's apartment but she and her partner were acting very cold towards her, and she's also been ignoring Sarah's calls and texts. I told her that she pretty much neglected Rose at the hospital and hurt her feelings. Sarah said she got Rose's updates and Tom needed her a lot more. I said that Rose's situation was a lot worse, but Sarah said that she was just trying to do her best and Rose is an adult and can push through. I got tired of her excuses, so I told her to just admit that she was a crappy mom to Rose, and she's lucky they let her into the apartment at all. Sarah got upset, said I was enabling Rose's behavior. I haven't talked to her since then, but was I the asshole for saying that? Edited for clarity. Not the asshole. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that her daughter was in hospital for a whole week and she didn't visit her once. It makes me wonder what Rose's childhood was like. Using your sister's logic, Tom is an adult and can push through for a few hours a day so she can go check in their daughter face with rolling eyes. Not the asshole. Sarah got upset, said I was enabling Rose's behavior. More like being supportive of Rose's very understandable anger. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. That was absolutely poor momming. I can't imagine for a second that there wasn't an opportunity to see Rose as well as her husband, even if she was emotionally distraught at first. Rose likely feels this showed her mom's true feelings toward her. Am I the asshole for taking in my niece despite my husband's complaints even though we are childfree? 25 female and 27 male. Niece is 3 years old. My sister asked me if we would take her daughter since she had to go out of town for a surgical procedure, and wouldn't be able to care for her daughter while she recovers. I ran this by my husband, who immediately said no and shook his head. I said it was my niece, and that just because we weren't really fans of having kids ourselves doesn't mean we can't do a favor for family. It ended in an argument, but I ended up taking her anyways. He refuses to do anything with her. This isn't the first time they've met. He's just never really interacted with her. Which I don't expect him to. But when I brought up that he could have a better attitude about this, he just said that I shouldn't have brought a kid into our home. He also went on a rant that because of this I'm probably going to change my mind about having kids, and he won't put up with that. Said like that he will divorce me if I even suggest it. My niece hasn't even been much of a problem. In fact, she's usually quiet unless she's hungry or tired. Yes, she gets into stuff and makes messes, but I assume that's pretty standard toddler behavior. I don't understand why he's so angry, since it's not like he's having to do anything. Edit. I should add that she'll only be here for about a week and a half. Maybe longer if my sister has complications, but we don't know yet. Also, I told him he should have a better attitude towards her cause I read that kids can tell when you don't like them, and being away from her mom is already hard enough for her. Am I the asshole? People are saying YTA because he said no and that should be a mutual decision, and I would normally agree, but I'd be pretty upset for my partner telling me that I can't help out my sister in a tough situation like that. It's not like it's permanent. For no real reason apart from him not liking kids. This isn't a social visit, it's a family emergency. Maybe not urgent, but still vulnerable. And then the comments about divorcing at the mention of wanting kids? That's a big leap. Shows where his head at, spoiler. Not focused on sister's surgery and well-being of niece, and just a pretty asshole thing to say in general. This is at least an ESH, but personally I'd say not the asshole. Am I the asshole not wanting my husband's 17-year-old brother to come with us on our vacation? For context, my F25 husband's M27 remaining parent passed away about 4 months ago. He has a 17-year-old brother, Ryan, who is now living with their aunt. He's autistic and I kind of find it hard to interact with him, and being around him generally gives me anxiety. Anyways, my husband and I planned to go on vacation, and he told me that he would like to take Ryan with us to cheer him up a bit after all that he's been through. I declined, but he went on about how this isn't a couple's getaway and that he was okay with me bringing my friend with us, and asked why he can't bring Ryan. I told him that I already stated how I can't handle Ryan's autism, and also, I've never been on vacation with him and I don't know how he would behave. My husband got offended and called me cruel to think it's okay to exclude his brother who is now so orphaned basically just because of slight inconveniences. I told him to drop it, but he lectured me about how he's the one paying for it, which really irked me because I'd paid for so many things in the past. His aunt called to give me stern talk about this, saying that Ryan did nothing to me and that it was cruel of me to try to exclude him and ignore my husband's wishes. We're still arguing about it, and my friend thinks that my husband is trying to control me by using the fact that he is the one paying to spring whoever he wants on me on the vacation. You are the asshole. The ableism is strong here. And your friend is enabling your bullshit. You are the asshole. Kid lost his parent, your friend is coming, husband is paying? Yeah. Also, info needed. Why does his autism make you anxious? If I were your husband, I'd leave you at home and take the brother. You're what he needs a vacation from. You are the asshole. How people treat the disabled says a lot about their character. My bro-in-law is autistic as well, and I would never exclude him because he is different and can have small episodes at times. I'm not surprised your husband is mad. You sound like a spoiled child. You are the asshole. The kid, and your husband, just lost their parent FFS.